Okay, this is vlog number 4, reflecting on my practice sessions with my peers. I feel like coaching has come a little bit easier to me than I was expecting, which has been lovely, and also a little bit of a double-edged sword, because I feel like there are moments where I'm like, oh, this actually feels good and I feel like I'm doing this well, but then I also want to be really intentional to reflect on where I need to improve, because there's a lot of learning still to be had. But I do feel like active listening comes really naturally to me. I feel like my intuition, I've been really able to tap into my intuition, which I have been and want to continue to be careful with, because I don't want to force a client to go too deep too fast just because I have these kind of ideas popping into my head. It feels like sometimes as I hear someone talk that information just lands in my body. And I want to hold that with a lot of grace and not just throw it onto my client. I'm trying to use that information to ask questions and see if that's where my client wants to go, without actually just telling them what I'm thinking or what has come in. So the intuition feels like it flows easily, but also I have been, and I want to continue to be aware of it. And I also feel like I have a lot of honing of that skill. I feel like it's kind of just like an open line, and that's wonderful, but I also want to figure out how I use that in a delicate way that isn't overwhelming to my clients or pushy in any way. But I do feel like I'm able to active listen with an open heart and an open mind, and that I've gotten the feedback that allows people to go deeper and be more vulnerable, which has felt good. The program skills that I have integrated into my sessions, I have tried to do a bit of parts work, mindfulness, meditation, somatics of just tapping into the body and like where do they feel it in the body and what does it feel like. It's interesting just now reading the goal setting chapters. I actually feel like I've been using that without realizing that I was using that tool. But as I've read through it, I've realized that is kind of how I've structured my sessions, with like following kind of the structure that we got, that you've given us. And I feel like following that structure automatically kind of sets in that goal setting and checking back in on goals and how someone wants to feel, and but setting those goals in a decolonized way instead of the aggressive colonized way that I've always been familiar with. So I didn't even realize it was goal setting, because I have a very colonized view of goal setting and a very negative view of goal setting because of it. And so it's been cool to read through this chapter and realize like that I've been implementing that a lot without even knowing it. So that's been helpful with my reframe of what goal setting can look like. Places that I would like to deepen with my clients in the next 2 months. I would really like to get more intentional with parts work. It is so helpful for me in my personal growth, but I have this resistance to using it because I'm afraid that I'm going to overwhelm my clients, and that might be totally fair. That I'm honestly, I'm not sure if I should be using it or not. One of the places that I definitely want to improve on is setting intentions for the session and how someone would like to feel at the end, because I feel like we kind of choose what we want to focus on, but I don't ever check in on how would you like to feel about this topic by the time we're done with our session. I often forget that piece. I have gotten better with setting that intention, checking in with the intention, and then doing the final check-in at the end. But that's been a little hard for me, because I find I just drop into a session and just kind of start to flow. And at first it felt like that was interrupting my flow, but I realized that it actually just gave my flow a place to go, instead of just being all over the place with it. And so I've been working on that, and I would like to continue to hone that skill. And the final thing is just knowing how to sign off. Had a hard time once our session is over, or like we've come to a close, we've come to a good conclusion, like client feels good, I feel good, everything feels settled. I go into panic mode, and I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to end the conversation. So I'd really like to get better at that as well.